Science, we're going to take it a little step further in here. So remember, scientific notation is one number, or I'm going to say one digit, not one number. One digit, a decimal, everything else. And then you do times 10 and you'll have some exponent up here. Okay? That exponent tells us how many times to move the decimal. How many times? If it's positive, then I move it right. And I'm going to show you a couple examples. If it's negative, then I move it left. If I had 2.35 times 10 to the third, that would tell me that if I wrote this number out of scientific notation, I would move this decimal over 3 places to the right since it's positive and would have 2350. Right? That should be a review for you. You probably learned that years ago in science. That's nothing new. The question is, what happens when we try to do operations with scientific notation? For example, let's say I wanted to do 2.35 times 10 to the 5th. Remember, parentheses just mean multiply, yes? When you see parentheses like that, the implied sign in the middle is multiply. 1.23 times 10 to the negative 8. So when we're multiplying, we can multiply in any order that we want to. So what we do to multiply. We multiply the numbers in front. And we add the exponents on the tens. And then we check to see if we need to adjust. And when I say adjust, remember it can only be one digit, a decimal, and everything else. I'll give you a chance to catch up with me. Yeah. Yeah, the 2 tens, because no, it's scientific notation that's always a 10. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2.35 and multiply it by 1.23. What do you get? Say that one more time. 2.8905. Remember, I need one digit, a decimal, and everything else. Now take the tens and add those exponents together. So what's 5 plus negative 8? What'd I do to what? Sorry. I had gotten to that last point and I had gotten not 2 point something, but let's say I had gotten 23.658 times 10 to the 7th. I'm just throwing a number out. Okay. This one is not standard scientific notation because I have 2 numbers in front of the decimal. Do you see that? Do you agree? Scientific notation says I can only have how many numbers in front of the decimal? 1. So I need to move the decimal. Okay. Here's your key. This is where it gets kind of tricky, so stay with me. To adjust, all right? If you need to adjust the decimal, if you need to adjust left, then you have to add. If you need to adjust right, then you have to subtract. Okay? It's kind of backwards from what you would think it is. Tyler, your hair looks good. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was listening to you whine. That's what I've been focused on this morning. So what are you subtracting? We're talking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this one. Which direction did I move it? Left. How many times did I move it left? One. Left means add, so I'm going to add 1 to the exponent, okay? So I get 2.3658 times 10 to the 8.
Well, wouldn't you round all that up?
No, you don't round anything with scientific notation. Just leave it. Okay.
So how many times you move, how many times you add?
Yes, yes. Okay. Now this is just if you need to. Notice on the one that we did the first time, on this one, we didn't need to adjust because whenever we multiplied those two numbers, it was 2 point whatever. We didn't have to adjust it. But should we need to adjust as we go through, remember to adjust left we add, to adjust right we subtract, okay? All right, let's try another multiply one.
So that's how it is today.
We're going to divide also. It is easy. This is a little extension of the exponent ones. Let's say we have 4.75 times 10 to the third times 6.23 times 10 to the negative 12. I'm multiplying, and this is a lot like that one on your quiz because I got two sets of parentheses there. I'm multiplying in the middle. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to take the numbers in front and multiply. Yep. Gary, if you put that away, I appreciate it, please.
I'm doing that.
Not on your phone. 4.75 times 6.23 is 29 point what? 5925. And then on the exponents, I'm going to add those together, yes? So I get 10 to the negative 9. Am I in standard scientific notation? No, why? There's more than one number in front of the decimal, so I need to adjust. Now, when I adjust, are you adding or subtracting? I'm moving left, so I'm adding 1. So it would be 2.95925 times 10 negative 8.
We're going to have to break it down from that and put in actual numbers.
No, no. We're going to keep them in scientific notation. Okay? Let's do a division. Notice these are the same properties of exponents you were doing. On your quiz, you had one that looked like this, that was multiply. And it was the same thing. You put together what goes together. Oh, x and x, y and y. It's still multiplied in here. It's still a multiply problem. And that's the same thing with scientific notation.
Yeah, show me how to do that, because I have no idea how to do that.
So because we're multiplying and we can multiply in any order that we want to, I can do 5. 2 and 1 makes 3. This is an imaginary 1. 1 and negative 5 makes negative 4. And you didn't have to do it in this order. Now you have one negative exponent. So it moves to the bottom and becomes positive.
See, that makes no sense. Well, I'll tell you what, I got it wrong. You just looked at it.
Or you could have done the negative exponent first and put it on the bottom.
What negative exponent are you talking about?
Negative 5, right? I put it all in fractions. It's got y4 after this.
It is y4. Y should have a 4.
Now I got context in here. It's just hard for me to understand
All right, let's talk about division of scientific notation. So let's say I have 1.38 times 10 to the negative third divided by 2.65 times 10 to the
You just subtracted 10.
12th.
Okay.
This time you're exactly right. Instead of multiplying the numbers in front, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the numbers in front. And then, Brady, you're absolutely right. I'm going to subtract the exponents on tens.
Wait, what?
Because when
Why
I
would I
divide, I
subtract?
subtract.
But why would I subtract?
Because when you divide with the same base, you subtract the exponents. Remember that property? If I have x5 over x2,
Yeah,
then I say x to the third, I subtract them.
yeah. But
Same
if
thing.
I got a times to get that number, all I'm doing is just divide it and doing it the exact same rate, except it's division.
It is division, yes.
Okay, so I would divide 1 and 2 or whatever.
Right, you divide these two, that's
And
step
if I
one.
move left,
That's when you adjust. That's your very last step, is when you adjust, yes. That's when you would add or subtract. All right, what's 1.38 divided by 2.65?
no.
And what's negative 3 minus 12?
So there we go, those big numbers, you want to
No, it
stick
ain't
the first
scientific
person.
notation. You gotta move the right one.
Yeah, you can stop. Those you'll have to stop. You'll have to stop. So this time, you're right, Brady. This time, whenever I adjust, I'm adjusting to the right. And I'm moving to the right one. Nathan, put that away, please, which means I subtract. Yes?
Yeah. So it'll be negative 16.
Yes?
Yeah. That's all we got. Alright, good. I'm good.